Thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video before our in-service on the 20th. A couple of dates, well, not a couple of dates, a lot of dates here to throw at you. This is for you to review. I'll send you a copy of this PowerPoint so you have these in hard copy as well. Just notice the DOE visit on the 23rd of April. It's next Thursday. There'll be some folks here from the Department of Ed doing a random safety visit. They may talk to you. Please answer their questions as to the best of your ability. May 1st is Envision the Future. If you have 8th graders in the morning classes, homeroom through 3rd period, please note they will not be in any class except homeroom that day. May 21st is the Teacher of the Year as well as a retirement celebration. It'll be held at the high school at 3:30. Please mark that on your calendar. 8th grade celebration day the next day, the 22nd. That is a new date, so please change that if it was on your calendar for later the following week. We're going to collect laptops on May 28th. Field day will be on May 29th. That's our last student day. It's a Friday. The following Monday, June 1st, will be our last staff day from 8 to 11:30. Artifacts are due and Standard for Success for certified staff that day. The following day is the incentive trip. It's going to be to Deep River Water Park. If you're interested and available in going, please let me know. Our rain date will be the following Thursday, 2 days later, June 4th. If you are a certified staff, please make sure that you create those 10 artifacts in Standard for Success that are due on June 1st. Please make sure that domains or competencies 1.1 and 1.2 focus on how you've incorporated informational text into your classroom. Notice the top title on this, Digital Learning Days. Would like to expand the really neat opportunities you gave students back on March 13th in our Digital Learning Day. You did some really neat things that were just awe-inspiring to watch. Would like to do something first semester and second semester next year. Down at the bottom, different, not more, simply means teaching something in a different way, not teaching more content. Learning management systems. The reason that I'm flipping part of this in-service today is to give us time this afternoon to watch a webinar on a program that's a fourth bullet there called Canvas. We know My Big Campus is going away. It's not something that we chose. It's the company's decision. Canvas is an alternative that, in my opinion, takes the best of My Big Campus, Moodle, Google Classroom, and a few other things and incorporates them all in one system. It's something that IU is using. There's about 18 million users worldwide. I know that Plymouth Schools adopted it this year along with some other neighboring schools. So if you know anybody at IU or Plymouth, you might get some input from them. iStep, one of the main reasons that we're meeting here to talk about this is the meeting of the in-service is iStep. Sorry about that. We are needing you to run updates on your staff laptop, meaning turn it off or restart it and reboot it and leave it open here at school so that any new updates can be run. Also make sure it's charged because your laptop's going to be one of the first lines of defense, so to speak, if there's an error with students. Please make sure students are doing the same thing. Mr. Stegmiller says that if we can have students restart their laptops every morning before testing, it will cut a lot of our problems out, and that's certainly what we want to have happen. Please start getting kids in the mindset of charging. I know they're supposed to be doing that every night, but I also know that 13, 14, and 15-year-olds aren't reminded on a daily basis. They forget. So please make sure that you're reminding them. I'm going to remind them. I'm going to remind their parents as well. This website is on the DOE website, and it is the new iStep. This looks familiar to you if you've ever seen a student log into iStep before. This looks familiar to you. The format itself looks familiar to you, but there are a lot of nuances. These items up here in the corner, a highlighter, an eraser, and a blocking bar look familiar to you if you've given iStep in the past. What looks different is, notice that I don't see all of this reading selection give me a break because I can scroll and see there's quite a bit more here. So if I don't scroll and I only see number 1 and number 2 and I stop with if given a recess break and I think that's the end of the selection, my answer could be drastically different than if I scrolled through the whole thing. Notice that once I checked this, a blue dot appeared down here indicating that I have completed question 1. In a second I'll show you that that's not accurate. Same reading selection, but this time it's asking me for to select 3 sentences. So I'm going to select 2. See the blue dot? It thinks I'm done. I'm not, because I haven't selected 3. But if I go ahead and select more than 3, it doesn't stop me either. This one has the same idea on both sides. Again, I can scroll here, but notice here I see 4 sets of circles. There's actually a 5th question down here you can't see unless you scroll, and you need to go through and answer each question. I'm going to skip a couple of these. Notice the story The Alaskan Mile. Notice the second story, because watch what happens now. Here's The Alaskan Mile, and is it Bashimo? I have to toggle back and forth between these 2 stories to answer this question. Not something that I've had to do in the past. This is a drag and drop. I'll drag 2 answers in. I realize, oh, I don't like those. I can drag them out this way. Or if I drag these 2 in and say, no, I don't like that, I can hit reset. It takes them both out, and I can drag 2 new answers in. Notice if I drag 1 answer in, it shows me that right here, it shows me that I have already done that question, when in fact I still need to drag 1 more in. This is a pull down. You'll see these in math as well. Pull down and say, these are the right answers. Oh, no, they're not. I should change that one, and I should change this one, or you can do reset and clear them both and start over. This one is tricky. It says select 2 statements, and if you look over here, you don't see any answers. And if you look down here, you don't see any answers, and you say to yourself, what am I supposed to select? Where? If you look very carefully right here where it says world's largest hydroelectric dam system, you'll see, and I just highlighted it in blue, that it's very faintly highlighted in gray. And by dragging over it, you'll see it turn blue, and then I can click on it and turn it a darker blue. I've now selected a statement. Again, notice down here it says I'm done with the problem, but it says I'm supposed to select 2. I have to find another one to select. But notice that at full production doesn't highlight. It's not even an answer choice I can choose. This is a very tricky question. When you're finishing the test, I want each of you to look at students' screens. Don't let them do anything once they get to the screen. If you see anything but zeros here, that should raise a red flag. I have 5 questions not answered. You don't answer a question, obviously it's wrong. It also can become an undetermined test. So I want my students to click no, go back to test to finish those questions. For sake of argument here, I'm just going to finish the test. I'm going to go to the math test and show you some things on the math test that are new. Some of them are going to look like what we just saw in language arts too, so I'm going to skip those. This is a drag and drop. There we go. This is a huge problem. I see lots of things on the conversations about the Department of Ed's website or whatever it is about this particular problem, because kids think this is a calculator. It is not a calculator. These are numbers and letters and variables that you need to answer this question if you're a student. Notice I just said 9r plus 8s equals negative 32. This is not a problem. This is not a calculator that's going to solve the problem. I'm creating the answer by clicking. If I don't like the answer, I can do this, or I can reset the whole thing and start over. Now, but notice I haven't completed the problem yet, but it shows down here that I have. This is a drag and drop. Just like you saw in the language arts. I've only done part of them, but you'll see it shows that I'm done. This is a graphing problem. If I'm going to graph a problem, I click on any 2 points. Notice that after I put the second dot in, it immediately created a graph for me. No, I did that wrong. It should be this point and this point. I can change it by clicking the reset button. This asks me to click on the step in Anthony or Maria's work that contains an error. Notice that I cannot click on anything, and there's no answer choices over here. I can't click on anything. What am I supposed to do? Again, the words step 1, step 2, step 3, step 1, step 2, step 3 are highlighted very faintly in gray, and by rolling over them, I can see that now I can select one. Now it says click on the step, but notice again, I can click on all 6 of them if I wanted to. Another drag and drop problem. This one asked me to select 2 that apply. As soon as I selected 1, you'll see the blue dot again, indicating that it looks like I'm done. You can see I selected more than 2. It didn't give me an error. This is another problem that looks like a calculator, but it's not. How do I enter a fraction? Like that, if students ask. This one, every one of these can be marked, and it says each statement may apply to 1 or more objects. So if this statement is true for all 4, literally, it could look like that. It could look like that. It could look like that. Another drag and drop. This problem shows a part A, which if you are quick and recognize that, there's probably a part B. And if you don't recognize that, you don't scroll down, you're going to miss this problem. You may get this problem right, but you're not going to get this problem right. If the triangle is reflected, so you're going to reflect it, and I'm going to do it wrong on purpose, make it look like that. That would be my answer. But if I click reset, notice I'm going to click in a different spot. As soon as I only click 1 dot, the point comes up. But you know, to make a triangle, you need 3 spots. So it indicates you're done even when you're not. Click Finish Test. This time I have 2 answered. That's a big red flag to you. No, I'm not done. I need to go back. But for this sake, we're going to finish the test. I'm going to email you this PowerPoint. I would like you to go to this website, click on Language Arts, click on Math, and I want you to practice those so you can see the tips, the tricks, and the potential pitfalls that kids could have as they are going through this, so that they can be warned. They're going to be warned in Language Arts and Math, but this is going to help slow that process down in your class, and you're not going to, when asked a question, you're not going to say, I'm not sure, let me look. You'll have the ability to answer that question as they are in the middle of their time test. That completes the video. Thanks very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.